Hello, welcome to You Haven't Blanked That. I'm Forrest.
And this is Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Hey, Forrest.
Well, this week, I'm going to start you off with a little poetry.
Oh, okay.
I didn't write this. But once there was a man whose prison was a chair. The man had a monkey. They made the strangest pair. The man was a prisoner. The monkey held the key. No matter how he tried, the man couldn't flee. Locked in his prison, terrified and frail, the monkey wielding power, keeping him in jail. The man tried to keep the monkey from his brain, but every move he made became the monkey's game. The monkey ruled the man, it climbed inside his head, and now as fate would have it, one of them was dead.
Holy shit, dude. This sounds just like a movie I just saw called Monkey Shine.
Oh my god, dude.
Monkey Shines.
Jimmy, do you have a description of the best movie ever? The most adorable?
Athlete Alan becomes a quadraplegic after a horrific, tragic accident. His friend Jeffrey, who is conducting experiments with monkeys, offers Alan a well-trained monkey named Ella to keep him company and raise his spirits. But the initially healthy bond, which even enables Alan to form a romantic relationship with Maylene, gradually disintegrates once Ella begins to channel Alan's underlying rage and takes it out on his loved ones.
That name is Melanie.
Melanie?
No, Mulaney is different. Melanie.
This was a crock of shit, dude.
You didn't like this movie?
No, I fucking love this movie.
I was about to say. Because this is like the most adorable.
The movie starts off with like this dude waking up, seeing his girlfriend next to him, which she's already relieving like half her boob, and he's like, rather than kiss her awake, he just pulls the blanket off, checks that ass, kisses his shoulder, covers it back up, and goes, I'm going to do my run, babe. And then he's just doing naked yoga in the living room. And then, like, fucking starts packing bricks. And then I'm just like, what movie is this? Because, like, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I loved it. I mean, they didn't fucking skip a beat. Like, let's get him fucking in a chair as quickly as possible.
Let's get him in the chair. So he gets hit by a car while he's running because a dog jumps at him, and he jumps into the street and somehow hits a car hits him.
Yeah, that bus is coming by and fucking just runs his ass over. And then his fucking, like, he comes home, his mom's all excited. His fucking girl leaves him because she doesn't want to
leaves him. Okay, first off, you're missing the best part of this movie. When he's being worked on by Dr. Tucci.
Oh, yeah. And then, so the doctor is working on him, whatever.
And, like, talking all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, where's this fucking guy?
Oh, let's start talking shit about this piece of shit. And they start cutting him up. And then, like, they do the best they can. And then, like, the girlfriend's like, oh, I'm fucking leaving. And then, like,
he has his best friend. Like, the girlfriend calls his best. Like, why would she? There's some weird, like, there's some weird shit here. Like, you've decided you're gonna leave, but you care enough to call his best friend.
Yeah. You know what? When it comes to breakups, there are weirdness to breakups where people still want to be friends with like other friends, but are shitty towards the
Well,
breakup.
when you find out what happens,
because
the best friend
Jeffrey finds out, he sees that they're together,
and calls her a clinical cunt.
Yeah.
That's just such a fucking great George Romero line.
Yeah, overall, like, I thought it was amazing.
Well, here's what I like about George Romero is that everybody must have loved working with George Romero because George Romero gets really good actors to say crazy fucking things.
Some of these lines are so fucking great, like so fucking great. And then like there's that one where like it's weird too because the Alan, his like rage that comes up bubbles up so well, like super well, because you don't see it right away, but his anger is building and building and building, and then he starts ripping into people.
Well, it's not until
maybe your fucking bird deserve it, you fucking bitch. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, you're jumping a bunch of.
Maybe you stepped on the fucking bird's neck when you put it on your goddamn slipper.
Well, we're missing a few things. So
you're a bitch, mother. Sorry, go ahead. You selfish cow. I don't know if you said that or not.
But you should have.
He should have. There was.
Well, he even starts getting lippy with the girl, and she's like, "I don't like this."
Yeah.
So,
when she left, why? Why, piece of shit.
Like, why? Like, does everybody become a piece of shit when they become quadriplegic? Like, I get it.
Yeah. Oh man, but what I loved about this is that this movie shows like how people just like have no limits. I mean, yeah, you're in a fucking wheelchair, but guess what? Your mouth works, baby, and you can sit on this.
Hold on, we'll get there. So that okay. Let's get there now. Then I guess I've always wondered about that part. Literally and figuratively.
About the monkeys just fucking raging as he's fucking getting on. Does he have a psychic connection to all monkeys? Is that what it is?
No, just Ella.
Because the other ones are getting rowdy too.
Well,
or were they just smelling her musk?
There's probably smelling her musk. But okay, so he gets some booby time, and then she sits on his face. So I have a question. So, and I think this would be kind of like if a tree falls in the forest, does someone actually hear it?
Okay.
So, you get quadrupleized.
Yeah.
If that's a verb.
Yeah, his wiener doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all.
I was thinking about that too. I don't think it does.
How wouldn't that work though? Because blood's still going through the body.
Yeah. So the thing about like, the thing is like, he would not have no sensation of him shitting himself or pissing himself.
No, I understand that. But
you're talking about just blood flow?
Blood flow, exactly.
Oh, if she gave him like a fucking
a
soft handy.
No, not even a soft handy. Not even because you're right. No sensation. But
if you're
excited, no, not if
blood around.
No, if you're not even milking. No, I'm talking about. I'm like excited. Like if he gets excited.
Well, biologically, he should be able to get it.
If he gets excited,
more than he would.
That's what I'm saying. That's my thing. Is like, and she just needs to be careful while she fucking rides him, right?
I guess not. I want to fucking go balls to the walls. Well, actually, she should be careful because my buddy had his wiener broken because she was riding him on top and she like pulled out almost awkwardly too much
and
fucking slammed back down and fucking bent his wiener right in half, and then to the point where like he had to go to the hospital and he has his fucking shit drained out like once a month because of the buildup of the blood because it's still like whatever. Gross. It's like, but it always looks like he has a heart on because all that blood's kind of like there. But what's super gross too is that like,
so he literally hold on.
So he showed me a video of him getting a little like blowy, and
it like hooks.
You know, it's like
it like hooks.
So what you think is like his wiener like fully good is just not it, and it goes forward. So it has like a weird hook. So the bent happened. Yeah, just a. So he has to come in the door sideways, you know what I mean?
Or it'll just hit the cheek or something, or what?
Yeah.
So will it like come out?
Just hook it
like it'll hook, but will it like come out like she's got to catch it?
I could tell him to text me the video.
I'm good.
I'll send it to you.
We're good, bud.
I'll surprise you tomorrow.
No, we're good. I don't need to see it. I got questions.
Go ahead.
And like Best Buy, you should have the answers. So yeah, but you don't.
But yeah, you're right. He should be able to get a hard.
Like excited, like
he wouldn't probably
not
never
like,
know that he has it unless he visually sees it.
Yeah, and at that point,
oh, how weird would that be then? Like if he finds his like nurse super attractive, and he gets a like hard on, he wouldn't know until like.
But
oh, see, and that's even weirder too, because like, what if her fucking nurse was super handsy and just like filling him up like?
Well, that nurse was just a cold bitch.
Yeah,
you're a cold bitch, nurse.
Put that bird in his fucking cage.
And when it attacks him,
oh dude, I was horrified.
This
movie is simple. It's a simple.
movie, it's simple and amazing.
But
simply amazing.
Even when that bird lands on his face, I was terrified. I was so terrified. But the claw around his eye, and then like
a lot of people
looking at the shine of his eye. He's like, "That's the fucking eye," and then it's just like it's.
Well, a lot of people got upset, get upset at this movie because of the way they treat. But like,
it says no monkeys were hurt.
No.
But I believe they killed that fucking bird.
I don't think they killed that fucking bird.
That looked like a real.
So anyway,
pretty bird.
No, but like a lot of people get upset at the way they treat like, quadriplegics and stuff in this movie.
Uh-huh.
But I think they just like, I think he was going for like, I think he was trying to do the sympathy route.
I think he did a great job because looked to see if he was moving.
Well,
so I figured this is B quality. Let's see if this fucker like lifts his foot or whatever. He never does.
There's a few things. In here. Let's go over.
Does he? I never saw him.
Not in the movie, but there's a few things in here where I think I could see why people who are quadriplegics might get upset. For example, where was it?
Bird attacks.
Okay. For example, when she meets him for the first time, she goes,
Mulaney?
Miss Mulaney.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm Melanie. Are you Ellen? Of course you're Ellen. You're sitting down.
Yeah.
And then hold on. And first of all, we're almost done. So then they bring the monkey in, and she's like, "Oh, well, is it gonna go to the bathroom everywhere?" And she's like, "Oh, well, no, it's got like a fucking, it can go in the bathtub, and we got these fucking monkey pads. Yeah. But every once in a while, you might step in something." And then Alan goes, "Not me."
Yeah. And then like the friend goes, "Oh, look at him. He's back to normal now, making like cripple jokes."
Yeah. He tries to go back to school, and they're talking in
I thought
class.
that was fucked up.
That was fucked up where he raises his hand and the whole class laughs. Where they're like,
"You're laughing at my life, you assholes."
Does the monkey know the answer, or does your companion know the answer?
Yeah, it means blah 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 blah.
Or do you?
And everyone's like, he can't walk, but he's not an idiot. Oh, congratulations.
Oh, wheelchairs don't make you stupid.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
The other one, like right after that, is that they go fishing, and then she's about to catch a fish, and it gets caught on his wheelchair.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Oh, that's okay.
Or how about when the monkey is like attacking everyone in the house and uses the phone to fucking trap him? So now he's like a dog on a leash and he can't go any further.
Yeah. He nearly falls off the bed when the parrot attacks him.
Dude, that was terrifying. I was actually scared at that fucking fall. Because that could do some... that could kill him.
Well, yeah.
Because, like, he's not going to brace himself, and it's going to go head first. It's going to break his neck. I was scared.
Oh,
and then, like, when she grabbed him and she pulled his...
He already broke his neck.
Oh, my God. And then, but when she grabbed him...
What's he going to do, Jimmy? Is he going to break it some more?
Jesus. Break it the right way and he'll start walking again.
And,
how old
get rid of that bird, Marianne, or so help me. Oh, you'll what? And it's like, I'll have my fucking monkey kill it.
Yeah.
How old was it the first time I saw this?
Yeah, how old were you when you first saw it?
Okay. So, this was Tim's movie that he watched as a 5-year-old all the time.
What? Okay.
So, they would go to movies as you do when you're a child.
I mean, it's a great movie, but that's a weird movie for a 5-year-old to
I
grab.
think his mom just grabbed he grabbed the movie
Saw monkeys
and
and
saw monkey and was like, oh, okay. And so he used to rent this movie all the fucking time. I asked him last night, 'cause I'm like, dude, I'm watching fucking Monkey Shines, and I'm like, is this why you like Stanley Tucci? And he goes, yeah, and he's a national treasure. But also, I'm gonna put this with maybe this is offensive, but while they're kind of banging, like while he's eating her out, she's like holding herself up on his rack that he uses to hold himself up. Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. I feel like it kind of rides the line because there's consent. Like he's like, I'm pretty sure he was like, well, fucking hold yourself up.
No, you looked at him and he was panicked because he just wanted boobs in his face. He didn't want all that. He was just like, no. And she's like, eat it.
I think he was lapping it up, bro. I don't think he was.
He was terrified. He was like, oh my gosh.
He wasn't terrified of a pussy.
When was this washed?
Well, the other funny thing about this is when I started dating Lisa.
Go on.
No, not that. No, this has nothing to do with. That has nothing to do with that. No. So she was like, she was trying to find movies for us to watch.
So she picked Monkey Shine?
So she tried. Well, she's all like, oh my god, I found this movie about a helper monkey. I'm on Monkey Shines. I own it already. Because she was trying to find like crazy movies for us to watch.
Okay, yeah,
like, you know, like when the girl's like trying to be into the shit that you're into.
Yeah, trying to like.
She's like, oh, I found this movie. I'm like, Monkey Shines? I fucking own Monkey Shines.
Dude, yeah. This is that what Jojo was?
Mojo from The Simpsons. Yes, kind of. This is supposed to be kind of the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, Pray for Mojo from The Simpsons that's like Tim's favorite Simpsons episode ever.
I was kind of hoping like the Ella would be like more because it was super sweet in the beginning. Whereas like
it was like, the most adorable. I mean, she's the most adorable monster in any horror movie.
They take this like because Jeffrey gets the syringe. He's doing experiments on monkeys. Injects her with like the serum to make her smarter.
Can I pump some brakes? Did you recognize who the dean of the college was?
Oh yeah, that's what's his face.
Fucking Stephen Root. It's Milton.
Yeah, and then way young too.
I mean he's only like 6 or 7 years from Milton at that point.
Really,
dude?
No, wait. When did this movie come out?
88, 89. So maybe about 10 years.
Okay,
maybe about 10 years then.
That's a trip. But yeah, so they injected the monkey with this serum to make him smarter. And then that was super weird too. Is like, well, rats perform better when they're drowning, and then you see that rat that's like in the water or something. So they probably kill that rat too, because nowhere did it say no birds or rats were safe. But the monkey's being super sweet, playing music, and then it jumps on his lap and it just gives him a little hug, and then like, cause she wants to dance with him, and I'm like, dude, this is super sweet. And then like you get that moment where like, damn, this monkey's fucking smart. Where like, Alan's like, call Jeff because he's got those telephone cards.
Yeah.
To make those auto dials, and then so like, she like picks up his card and she stops and she looks at the phone and then she looks at Jeff. She looks at the phone and she looks at Jeff and like, she knows you're here, so she doesn't want to call you. And then like, they tell Jeff to go outside and he calls her and he's like, that's fucking bizarre. Like, you know, like it's like she's obviously way smarter. And it's like, I thought it was fucking rad, but then like. Yeah, that little shit was psycho after a while. But it's just like, watching this movie, I realized this is where fucking George R.
Martin
got his
Romero.
Idea. No, Martin.
Oh.
Got his idea for Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones was written before this, I think, but go on.
Maybe. Because you got a boy in a chair that can't move, Bran, who... has his animal, his dire wolf that he wargs into, just like Alan could warg into the fucking monkey and like have these wolf dreams, but he's having these monkey dreams of him running through the things.
They're kind of Evil Dead a bit too.
Yeah, kind of with the visuals, but then like in the book for Game of Thrones, or all the other Ice and Fire, the Song of Ice and Fire, they talk about how Bran, he can't move and he can't walk, but in his sleep, he falls into the mind of his wolf, and he'll run and he'll hunt and he'll feel like he's running and he's hunting, and like he loses his identity to the wolf. But later on, they say that like if you give your mind to your animal for too long, you get locked in the animal, and then you're just
Stuck.
two beings in one, and then
What was that
you'll
movie
be
that I saw?
forgotten, and the animal will continue to live. And so like it kind of had that same like sense of the whole thing because like the monkey's will was stronger than the man's will because of what was going on, and it was just kind of like that conflicting thing, which it was dope. Like I mean, it's the story's it appears cheesy because it's a Romero film, but the story is solid. You know what I mean? And the logic of it is still fucking really good. Like it's you can tell like this wasn't a TV movie though, was it?
No, this is a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really make TV movies.
Because it doesn't look more like a movie. It looks more like TV movie. Back in the day.
But
that's kind of like
well,
what all movies kind of looked at the time.
This was his second major movie. First major movie being Creepshow.
I fucking loved it. I really liked this movie. It was a fucking like the story was fucking great. The acting was fucking phenomenal. The fucking cheesy lines were fucking great. The fucking ending where he goes, "Come here, Ella. You want to dance? You want to dance? Come, hold me, Ella. Come dance with me." And then Ella's like, "Ooh, my human," and then she fucking like is on him, and he just fucking is like bites her fucking neck and like a fucking ragdoll fucking kills her. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Well, you're forgetting before that. Okay, I've got a couple questions.
I'm gonna rip your fucking eyes out, you fucking bitch.
So, Ella comes after them with a straight razor.
Oh yeah,
that's creepy.
Dude, her fucking weapons too were fucking legit. That
coat
hanger.
Okay, and I've got a question about that. So
I was like, oh my gosh, is there gonna be an abortion?
So okay. So I've got a question. So he goes after Ella, goes after the girlfriend, after Melanie.
Do you remember that part where fucking Mulaney's like on the fucking ground and fucking he's like, Ellen's like, "Are you awake?" And he's just fucking running her over.
But here's my question about that. I have a question.
He kept doing it over and over again.
Well, here's my question about that. Okay, so Ella slashes her with the hanger and she falls and hits her fucking neck. I swear to God, they should have ended the movie where they're both paralyzed. No. So I have a question. She falls on the ground.
Okay.
And do you think that Ella was trying to set her on fire after she should have been paralyzed? Because they would have been a match made in heaven?
Oh, God. That's stupid. But, like, I like that.
Because she was trying to light her up with a match?
But did you think she did it on purpose because she had that matchstick and she shoved it in Ella's face? Do you think that's why Ella's like, bitch, I remember fucking matching your face, whore? Like,
probably.
Because I was like, what?
Matching your face, whore.
Yeah, but then fucking Mulaney, I was calling her Melanie.
I'm not gonna call her Melanie now.
So when Mulaney is after she fucking sat on like that woman's fucking son's face and like bringing her home. He's like, I tried to call you all weekend. Where were you? She goes, we just said not to answer the phone this weekend. And then the mom's like, oh. And it's like, not like they were fucking, but like the
Mom, my dick doesn't work. You're pussy.
Yeah. But then
she's like,
she goes, but Mulaney goes in for that kiss, and then as she does, like he's like, no, like I don't want my mom. She goes, let her fucking watch, and she just fucking tugs her son down. I'm like, what a fucking bitch, dude. Like, oh, like, but the mom was sweet. Like, the mom was, like, just, like, a very motherly person. Where sweet and annoying to a point.
Fucking stab you, Mom. I hope my monkey fucking throws your hair dryer in the fucking bag.
I thought about it, and she did it. Oh, but even with her fucking death, I felt bad, too, when her fucking foot out of the tub.
And then what was funny about that is that every time they turn the power back on, they show back to her foot. Yeah, they do it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, like overall, I really like this movie. It's funny. The story is really good. I felt like they could have cut out maybe 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, I'm at this point where I need horror to be like a 90 to 100 minute movie, and I need to be out.
10 minutes, it would have tightened it up. Like, we didn't really need to see the fishing scene.
First off, yes, we did.
But it ties in at the end. Oh my God, how great was the ending where they realized, like, the doctor, the
nice doctor, the one who's all like, "Oh, well,
you're a quack, could have fucking fixed you. You're not paralyzed. You're just fucking swollen." And then so like, but when they put the fucking thing down to fucking do whatever, and they do the first incision, And I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna watch the thing. This is pretty cool. And the fucking monkey goes bam. I'm like, oh, fuck you. I was like, that's a hell of an ending. And then like, no, it cuts to him walking. And I'm like, okay, give us the happy ending, whatever. But it should have left. It should have ended with just the fucking monkey popping up. Like that would have been it. But fuck, dude, that was a really, really fun movie.
I know. It's so fucking fun.
I'm shocked that. I know you've talked about it for years.
Fucking yeah, Tim and I used to watch this
because the cover of the Monkey Shines is just the fucking
monkey with the straight edge.
Yeah, it's just no. The one I saw was this one. It's which always kind of creeped me out. It's like a
yeah. That okay. No,
it's like the toy monkey with the symbols, with the creepy open mouth and like the big bug eyes. So I thought like, okay, is this a toy? Like I don't know what the fuck this is, but no, like that cover made me not watch it for years because I'm so glad I watched it. It's
fucking
a
great.
Fun film.
All right, so we ask a question every week.
Little Corey Feldman. I don't think there's a place for Corey Feldman. Little baby Corey Feldman.
Riella.
Yeah. Oh my god, could you? No, it's so weird. It'd be so gross.
Can we? I don't know.
I don't know about the little Corey's. I don't think he's in this, but the Fell Dog. The best friend, Jeffrey.
You think it'd be Jeffrey? You don't want him to be
Milton?
Alan?
No.
I like Alan.
Yeah. There was something really nice about him. He was like he's a handsome dude. Butt cheeks for days when he was doing his little yoga thing. I'm like, but like that's what was so bizarre because it's like this is the part of the movies where it's like that gratuitous nude scenes are like thrown out for no reasons. We're dying out. You know what I mean? Because like it was like okay, cool. Like the boob scene wasn't as bad as like other movies were. You know what I mean?
No, I gotcha.
So like all of it, like overall, like this movie really holds up. But yeah, Jeffrey is the fell dog. Because you could just see him with his Michael Jackson hat and his white glove chasing this monkey.
But here's what I love about Here's what I love what you assume.
Bubbles.
Here's what I love what you assume about every time there is a fell dog. You're always just like, oh, well, when he goes to act, he brings that Michael Jackson stuff with him.
He brings his own stuff. Every time he goes on set, he brings his own wardrobe, and he convinces people, this is what he would wear, trust me.
I wrote this, and he's wearing a fucking gray t-shirt.
He's wearing, sparkly gloves. Because he's a deep Michael Jackson fan. Like, they were friends. Like, you don't know this.
Well, I based him on my best friend, Corey Feldman. Not you, Corey Feldman, but my best friend, comma, my best friend, comma, Corey Feldman.
Yeah. But you know what? This movie would have been so much better if you got both Coreys in it. And have the two Coreys be the scientists. Like the...
What, shine a little monkey shines?
Yeah.
Now I want to remake this movie in the 80s with both Coreys.
Oh, it'd be so good.
No. If you're making it with both Coreys, one of the Coreys has to be in a wheelchair. Has to be Alan, and one of them has to be the friend. So you have Haim in the wheelchair.
Yeah, this would be perfect. This is the consequences that happen when you have a license to drive and now you're stuck in a chair. Because he was in license to drive.
No, I got it.
You get it?
No, I got it.
He was there.
He's trying to impress Mercedes. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Jimmy.
So today we're talking about Wes Craven's New Nightmare, a family film from 1994.
Technically, yes, this is a family film also.
Reality and fantasy meet in unsettling ways in this installment of the long-running horror series, which finds director Wes Craven and actors Heather Landskamp and Robert Englund.
Hold I'm sorry.
Lincoln Camp.
Lincoln Camp.
Lambskin
Cap.
Lambskin Camp. And Robert Englund all portraying themselves as Heather considers making another film with Craven. Her son Dylan falls under the spell of the iconic disfigured villain Freddy Krueger. Eventually, Heather must confront Freddy's demonic spirit to save the soul of Dylan. First off, I don't trust fucking earthquakes at all anymore. Ever.
That got so fucking annoying, and then it did that thing that all movies do.
I'm sorry, what? Where did you say annoying? This movie was
No. The earthquake thing was annoying. Because it was just like, we're gonna have 15 earthquakes in this movie.
Yeah, that doesn't
15
happen.
Earthquakes.
And not within like the same like.
And they're not even like, and it wasn't even like, I'm Freddy, I'm trying to bring shit to this world. It was just like, no, we're by a fault line.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, you get the dream that happens first, which is like, they're on set, they're making like another Freddy movie, and the claw ends up like fucking opening up and just like killing somebody.
Kills a few people, but
yeah, and then Dylan's like running to the bed and like he's like sitting on it, turning around. I'm like, this is like got a weird visual because it's like as all this murder's going on, he jumps on this like silken like red bed and he turns around and looks at his mother. I'm like, Wes Craven, what are you saying here? Because it was weird, seductively weird.
It wasn't seductively weird.
It was super weird. But then like. The entire film is now focused on Dylan.
Well, no, it's Dylan and Heather.
Yeah, but like she wakes up and then it's one of those where it's like
she's woken up by an earthquake.
And then like
the third one this week.
Yeah, and then she runs downstairs and then fucking like she's freaking out about what happened that she wants to check on her son and her son's watching the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, you've got the part where like the husband got slashed in the dream and he has a cut on his hand. Like,
yeah, and then it was like, oh no, it must have been glass during the earthquake, and it was like, okay, whatever, bitch. But like, I think the story could have been so good if it was written rather than a movie, because I feel like
I feel like
little slips between reality and like.
Well, I felt like this was like the Galaxy Quest of fucking Freddy movies.
Okay, first off, I don't like how you put that into terms like Galaxy Quest in that tone. I don't like the tone that you said it.
I wasn't saying it in like a shitty tone. I'm just saying. Okay,
every time I hear Galaxy Quest, it should be in a joyful like praisal.
Not in this mid. I'm not sure about shit.
Yeah.
Unsure. No, it was like the Galaxy. I felt like it was gonna be like the Galaxy Quest of Freddy movies because you're gonna see. I mean, I would get the references from the first movie.
Yeah.
Like when the fucking babysitter dies in this one. Oh, it died like fucking Tina did when they did the fucking room. But I was like, oh, this is gonna be the Galaxy Quest of fucking Freddy movies, and there's gonna be a little shit that I don't see.
I forget how long it is at the beginning before you get to the fun parts, and then it's kind of like, okay.
But the thing I liked about the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie is that it's a flat out good movie. It's not even a fucking horror. Not even saying horror movie.
Yeah.
It's a good fucking solid movie.
Yeah, and
the script is solid. For the budget that they had, for what they do, I mean, it's a solid movie.
That scene when they talk about dreams and like that whole everything about it, like it fits so well to what's going on in this
like this wasn't a bad horror flick, but the first movie is a fucking well-made movie.
Yeah. There's that part with Freddy and his long arms where he's like trying to be super scary and it's just really awkward because it's.
Did you do that in the first one?
Yeah, that's where he's running down and his arms are like on these like pool noodles and he's like running down the street. You remember? You see for like maybe 3 seconds.
Oh.
But
that's probably why I was like, oh, what? That fucking happened? I gotta go back and watch it again. I actually really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, but this one was cool until like Freddy like had flashbacks of Freddy's Revenge.
Well, the beginning of the movie,
the husband's crotch.
The beginning of the movie,
and then the wife wakes up like, not my husband's wiener, and then like,
was that like a fucking like thing that he did when he was doing the crotch thing at the beginning of that?
Well, you see it in the first movie where Heather's like sleeping in the bathtub, and then the hand is like
her crotch. Yeah. So
and
was it supposed to be an homage to that?
More? I think it was, but then also because.
But he also does that by the bed.
My mind when it came down to fucking Freddy's Revenge, and having it be a gay flick, and then now that I watch that
gay flick documentary,
Scream Queen, I'm like, oh my god, it is.
It's on something. I think it's on.
I bought it.
Shudder.
I bought it, but
So then, so they wanted her to make another Freddy movie, and she's like, I don't want to make another Freddy movie. Like,
which I always wondered too, because like when you make horror movies, like there's got to be like a sense of like that, like there has to be people that make horror movies that don't want to watch them. You know what I mean? Because it's different being on set, and you're like, okay, cool. But then,
I'm sure there are people who are like that, but I don't get that. Like, you're watching the sausage. You're part of the sausage.
Yeah, but like it's very different when you can see the camera and you see the crew, and you can just pretend and then whatever to actually be whatever. Which I think like there has to be like people that like, especially method actors, like they get too lost in their own fucking role. Because you know the guy that played Pennywise, the new one.
He got too lost in his role.
Yeah, and he couldn't get it out of his head. Like he couldn't get Pennywise's like thoughts out of his head. That he was kind of like, it took him like a while to like separate from himself from that role, which is creepy as shit because it's like, where would you go in your head? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I give you a little side note about Robert Englund I learned today from that Star Wars book I'm listening to?
That I love him so much.
Well, no, he's good. No, he's great. I fucking love Robert Englund. Every time you see him interview, he's like the nicest guy.
He's such a great guy.
But check this out. So they're doing auditions for a movie back in 1975, and his buddy is Mark Hamill.
Oh, okay.
So he goes to this movie audition across the way. They're doing Star Wars, and he goes, "Oh, this guy would be great for this role," and tells him to go audition for Star Wars.
That's fucking rad.
I learned that today. Yes. And then you see Robert Englund. So they're watching the Sam Rubin show. She's on the fucking Sam Rubin show before Sam Rubin hated life.
Okay, first off, this reminded me so much of Maury Povich that it was just like
that show did.
Oh, the scene, like what happened.
Oh, because he comes out as Freddy and he's
all
like,
like you could tell she's like kind of like, okay, cool, and then like Robert comes out as Freddy and it's like, I'm back, and then I remember
I'm back, bitch.
Yeah. Hey, bitch.
I was waiting for that so much. Like, why didn't she do that?
But like, but when he comes back, I remember that in the trailer, like way back in the day, where like you see Freddy just standing in front of an audience.
Well,
and
at first,
his claws up. And he's like pointing at the audience. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be rad. And I never got that scene because I figured he was gonna kill the audience.
But no, well, at first I'm like, is that really Robert Englund or did they Dave him?
Oh no, that was Robert Englund.
Well, I know. After that, when I was watching it, because like they kind of have like the light makeup on him for it. Like he's done up for it, but he's like
the
very
two different makeups.
Yeah,
because it's like
no, I like that. I like that. There's like the movie one, and then there's like this new one.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, I'm like, oh, is he just pulling a Dave? You know what I mean by Dave?
No.
You never saw the movie Dave?
No.
With Kevin Kline?
No.
Where he's okay, so he plays two people. He plays the president, and then he plays this other guy, Dave.
Oh, I have a vague memory of this,
and
but no, I never
so
saw it.
what happens is he, the president has these people that look like him go out and do things and make appearances. Yeah.
Okay.
And so what happens in Dave is that he's the president, the real president, is fucking his mistress and has a heart attack. And so they have him go and be the president, and he's a lot more, like, he's different than, like, the real president, and he's, like, and everybody's like, oh, well, like, what's he doing? And so, like, Frank Langella is, like, his advisor, and keeps telling him to, like, tone it down a bit, and punch back, and then, so eventually, Sigourney Weaver finds out.
Fucking Sigourney Weaver. She ruins everything. Every plot.
Well, no. So she has it. So what happens? She's their things are getting like better between them because they had like a really shitty relationship.
Oh,
and so like he's being nice to her, and so he's being nice to her because he's kind of starstruck, and it's Sigourney Weaver,
right?
And so he's all yeah. And so then like partway through the movie, she figures out that it's what's going on. And she's like, "Oh, I'm the first lady. Nice to meet you."
Oh,
and confronts him on it.
Yeah.
And so then she's like, "What happened?" And so they take her, and he's like under the White House in a fucking hospital bed. And he had a fucking like heart attack because he had a heart attack fucking his mistress.
Yeah.
And so he's there, and she's like,
her.
she's all like worried about him because it's her fucking husband.
You can't use that term because you say Clinton her, and it sounds like he murdered her and like.
No, I mean, we know it. We all know.
He built her.
Allegedly, we all know.
Yeah.
But so then at the so what happens? Do you want me to run the movie for you, or are you gonna watch it?
No.
So what happens is Frank Langella is like, I'm gonna fucking do something. I forgot what he was gonna do to him to like where you don't get it to like fuck him over somehow.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is he's giving a speech and he passes out while he's giving the speech. David does. And what they do is they make it look like, so what they do is they put the real president in the ambulance.
Oh.
And like a Secret Service guy is, and it's Ving Rhames is the Secret Service guy. And then
that's how they do the
That's how they do the switch. Is that the real president is in the ambulance
to make it not
and then he goes, and then Dave goes in the front seat and sneaks out the ambulance and just walks away. And then at the end of the movie, the first lady goes and finds him at his work, and they end up together. It's like a really cute ending. It's a good movie.
That's cool.
But like I was a huge Kevin Kline fan as a kid because of I told you one of the first movies we watched as a child was Fish Called Wanda.
Okay, yeah.
So
asshole.
I've made Lisa watch that movie finally.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to sorry to go on a Kevin Kline.
But back to this movie. Like I loved that scene where like, oh, this is what I was saying. He reminded me of the Maury Povich.
Yeah, the Maury Povich.
Because he's like,
I'm gonna slash your
fucking kill you all. Freddy's back, bitches. And everybody's like,
don't go to. He's like, don't go to sleep. He's like waving his claw. Like, dude, you don't see Hans wave that much unless they're leaving the fucking Beverly Hillbillies porch. Let me fucking tell you.
Right? Oh, that's so good. And then, but like the entire time, Heather's in the back, like fucking like traumatized, like freaking the fuck out, like clutching her.
Well, because she keeps getting a crank call from somebody like talking like Freddy into her phone,
which you would kind of like whatever. Like that's something like I feel would have happened. You know what I mean? I feel like if there was like a Howard-esque person that like made fun of her, and then like fans would
like a Howard Stern,
and then
like
would make calls to like bug her, like like. 1, 2. You know what I mean? I guess it's just like the Baba Booey.
Yeah, it's like Baba Booey, Freddy Krueger's penis.
So you get fucking Freddy just fucking waving his hands doing bullshit. But then like it reminded me of that scene from fucking Maury Povich.
Which one?
Remember that one with that sweet, lovable lady, and she's like, I'm terrified of olives.
Yeah.
And Maury's like, what? No, hold my hand. She goes, no. He's like, don't worry about it. Bring out the olives. And she's just screaming for her life.
I love that fucking video.
Oh, that poor lady. I think about her every day.
Every day. Why every day do you think about the lady?
It pops in my head. I'm like,
what? Is there a certain time where it's like, 1:03, gotta think about the lady and the olives?
You know what? It's before lunch.
So literally, every day before your lunch, you're like, do I want olives? And then you think of that fucking lady screaming, and you're like, oh, I don't want olives today.
And fucking Maury, and then that fucking producer who fucking like dive bombs her, trying to hold her back. Like, it's terrible.
And so, the little kid is the original kid is the kid from the first Pet Sematary movie, like the original Pet Sematary movie.
Oh, really? Well, this one was trippy too, because like, so yeah, she's like getting all these flashbacks. She calls Robert and tells him like, hey Robert, like.
Which, by the way, like he's just like, oh, I'm just painting. Like I wanted her to show up and be like, oh, I got a quiche in the oven.
Yeah.
I was like waiting. I was so bummed when she's like, when she calls him and it's like, oh, well, the England's went on vacation.
Yeah, and then but it's him, and it's like because he's having nightmares, or everyone's talking about.
They're all having nightmares.
Wes is like writing a new story. Then you realize that Wes is like this fucking like conduit. What was it like?
Conduit.
Conduit between like the fantasy world and like the real world. That he's like melding the two. Like he's the keymaster and the gatekeeper to the story, where he's bringing Freddy back, and then like the movie really just flips a switch. Oh, because that's where the part where like as he's painting the fucking painting, Robert. And then, like, it cuts to what he's painting. He goes, is it Freddy, but just more evil? And she's like, yes! And then you see that painting. It's just evil Freddy Krueger with, like, little sharp fangs. And it's like, we'll talk tomorrow. And then, like, it's like, okay. But then, like, he mentions, like, yeah, last time I talked to Wes, he was saying, like, he was, like, talking about, like, the boy reaching for the skies, asking, like, whatever. Which is the same thing that happened with Dylan when he was, like, whatever.
Oh, God, what it take.
God, what it take? Yeah, I'm like Jesus, and then but that scene when they go into like the Freddyverse, I'm like, I was like, all right, sweetheart, we know. This is where I was like, is this really going on in her life? Or is this like her own delusion?
Well, this happens. There's a few things that are
because fucking mommy likes her little pills, and she just keeps taking them. And she goes, "Yes, Dylan, I found you." And she's just like popping more pills.
Well, let's pump some brakes on a few things. First off, when the kid got the knives and put them on his fingers, my dad 100%.
Dope as that.
My dad 100% did that to some kid. His old roommate's son, because he was being a little shit, and he would he would get butter knives and put them in between his fingers like this and chase him down the hall.
Like Wolverine.
But that's the thing. And then there's the whole thing with where
that little kid was scary with those fucking claws too.
Yeah. So then they he talks about the entity.
Oh yeah.
And how it existed in different times, and I'm like, oh, like it.
Yeah. So basically, yeah.
And then he's like, it can be captured. Oh, like it?
Yeah. Like Pennywise.
And then I laughed when Heather says, "Why me?" Because Heather Langenkamp also played Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh, did she hurt her knee in this movie?
I don't know.
No, she didn't. I remember she tripped, but she didn't.
So I got a couple questions though. So you get slashed by Freddy's claws, but you don't die. Maybe you get to in the fucking arm.
Yeah. So the way I see,
let me finish.
Go on.
Do you need a tetanus shot after?
Ooh, yes.
Why?
Well, no, I guess not.
Or
they're metaphysical.
Hold on. But are you sure? Not in this movie.
He's
not
incorporeal.
Not in this movie. They're not.
He's a spiritual being.
Or because there's so much blood on it, can you get AIDS?
Ooh, AIDS fingers.
Yeah.
Did they ever tackle AIDS in the movies? No.
Not even the gay one. I don't think so.
Hey-o. No, I guess they never did.
They talk about grids.
Yeah. They might have mentioned it in the third one.
I
don't think anybody got it. But what's her face? The junkie got the needles. But
would you stop ruining the third one for me? I haven't watched it yet.
God damn it, Forrest! Watch the third one.
And then there's the fucking syringe fight.
Oh yeah. So the way I see this movie, and I like how they fucking talk shit on the fucking nurse, you fucking bitch, and he fucking hits her the way out. But I was gonna say, I feel like Freddy is like would be like equivalent to like any other like demon, where like when you go to, oh man, I'll tell you something off the thing. I'll tell you something later.
You happy on this?
Sure, why not? Just you know how like when you see certain shows where like there's hauntings and people go into them, people that are more vulnerable, more exposed, like you can have things attached to you and carry around with you, but eventually they'll jump as long as you don't like fuel them to stick around, they'll just dip out. But with demonic entities, if you're open enough and like whatever, you get marked like with like claw marks and whatever. Kind of like the same thing with this one. Where like that's why I was thinking like Freddy's more like not. He was this kind of idea of what it was, but like he ended up being like this more powerful like entity being like because they're trying to make him into this like it type of a character.
Yeah.
And so like it made sense that like why his claws could reach the metaphysical world to the physical world to like cut him open. But yeah, I went to a podcast. I didn't want to go.
Which podcast was it?
The last podcast on the.
Okay.
And so she got tickets, and her boyfriend didn't want to go, or wasn't gonna go, or wouldn't be into it.
I'm like hit or miss with that show.
I kind of like it.
It's not bad.
I don't hate it, but I listen to it. And
I listened to part of the Plague one.
Yeah, and then it's really cool, and they're funny.
Yeah.
And so I went to the show, and I was already kind of feeling kind of like weird and sick, and I didn't want to go because it's out in the cemetery, and plus the last time I was in the cemetery, I was attacked, so I didn't want to deal with that again.
What cemetery were you attacked at?
The Hollywood Forever.
From the Day of the Dead thing. Yeah.
So I didn't want to go back, and then but literally Kaylin wanted to go, and it was like this big old thing. And then like I felt like she bullied me into going. And fuck, and I'm like, I didn't want to go, but I kind of was glad I went. But at the same time, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be there, and I told her I didn't want to be there. And so we go into the cemetery, and then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to get high. I don't want to be drunk. I don't want anything. I just want to be like fully and like
sober,
so I don't have to deal with anything later on. And then we met up earlier in the day, and then like I ended up like someone gave me these Nerds edibles, and I was like, okay, but I was starving because like I meant to get food beforehand, and I just fucking ate them. I'm like, that was a lot.
Oh no!
Oh no! And I'm like, fuck. Okay, cool. So I'm just kind of standing there and like whatever, and it's one of those where it's like I don't like mirrors around this time because like I start to see certain things, I don't like them, and like I also start to feel a lot of different things, and I don't like that either. So like, but the more I kind of like tune in on them, more like they tune in on me, tuning in on them, type of thing. So I'm like, okay, cool. So like, there's nowhere to sit. Like
that's not a grave.
And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, okay.
This is how you got into the trouble last time.
Yeah, and so I'm like, fuck. Okay, I don't want to do anything. And I found a spot between this
grave and grave,
this mausoleum and a grave, and there was nothing in between. So I said, perfect. So I threw my blanket down, and I was like, okay, cool. I went to go grab something to drink. Turns out they were out of soda, so like I had a beer, and like I didn't want to drink it, so I'm just holding like this beer until it got warm. Until I left, and then I drank it outside, and then like, so I'm just kind of just fucking sitting there, and as I'm sitting there, I realized like I didn't put my blanket here because when I came back, there was tons of people. Somebody moved my blanket around, and so when I sat down, I'm like, okay, cool, and I was uncomfortable, and like I'm listening to the show, but I'm also high, so I'm just kind of not paying attention, and then I'm just like feeling like hands like kind of like grab my shoulder, and I kind of turn around, and I realize someone's around me, like, fuck, and then like I start to hear like people talking behind me, and I turn around and tell them like be quiet, and there's like nobody behind me. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to get through the night, and then like as like I scoot back because I'm trying to get comfortable because like I didn't bring a chair.
Did you put your butt on shoes?
I put my butt on the gravestone, and I'm like, fuck, like. And then I picked it up, and I saw that we were on the fucking, like, on someone's grave. I'm like, God damn it. And, like, so I'm apologizing, like, in my head. And then, like, it got weird. And it turned into, like, this, like, weird, like, I felt like this kind of just, like, thoughts coming into me that, like, they weren't my own. It was just kind of, like, you know, talking about, like, longing for family and missing people and whatever, and I'm just kind of like, this has nothing to do with me. Like, why am I feeling this? Why are these thoughts coming into whatever? Then I realized, oh, okay, I'm getting where they're coming from. And then like, there was this like everything got super quiet, and then like there was this like,
and like because they were doing the podcast and it got
quiet. No, they were doing the podcast and it was going on, but like I was being too distracted with everything else that was going on that this like lady came up. And like I saw her like, but we're close to like the little pathway to walk, like the paved road to walk, and she's walking by, and she looks like a normal lady, and then so she's kind of walking, and she looks over at me, and she's looking like she's lost, she's trying to find her seat, and so like I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, cool, and then she just kind of like is just kind of like talking to me, and I realize she's not moving her lips, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh fuck, and then she's just kind of blah blah blah, and she's talking about like.
You're on my shit.
No, she was like, if you come with me, like, I could show you some cool things and blah, 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 blah. It's light and it's beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And, like, she reached out to touch my face, and then I kind of pulled back, and she just went further. But she touched my jaw, and then when she touched my jaw, she kind of, like, didn't touch it. Like, it just went but I felt my teeth, like almost jiggle. Like, it was weird, like they were loose, but they, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, no thanks. And then, like, she just is gone. And I was like, losing it. I'm like, fuck this place. I don't want to fucking come back here anymore. I already knew I didn't want to be back here. And I was done with the whole fucking thing. But, yeah, so that happened last weekend.
Yeah.
So, you can get that out.
Is that why you slept all day Sunday?
Yeah, like, but the thing though, like, that's where, like, that it's like, I had like a tickle in my throat. That was all it was.
Yeah.
But the next day, I was out. I couldn't fucking do anything. I was like completely drained. And then like I went into work the next day, and like they was like, "Dude, you look super pale." I'm like, "I don't have a fever." And then like they ran the gun on me, and like, "You're fine." I'm like, "I know I'm fine." Like, but like I'm. Just,
I know
like,
I'm fine, and I don't have COVID.
Yeah, they're like, okay, well, just don't touch anybody, don't go around anybody, because like you seemed weird. I'm like, okay, cool. And then so like, but like it took me maybe until like Wednesday to just get over that. So, but it was just like, that's where I was thinking like it's not just like it wouldn't have been just the edibles that like fucked me up, but it was like the interaction of everything else that night. But super weird. I didn't like it. Anyways, back to Freddy.
Yes, back to Freddy. So Wes Craven tells her, "Hey, you need to be Nancy again and go back and fight."
Yeah, because now he needs a protagonist against this evil. But like, even like the way he's creating the story, he's like feeding into the evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, trying to give it a sacrifice or a trap to lure him out, to then destroy him again. But I mean, all Wes could have done is just fucking not write anymore, and like everything would have just fucking.
Do you understand writing, Jimmy? You're not a writer.
Oh my god.
You don't understand writing.
I don't.
But this is where I felt the movie was too long. They needed to chop 20 minutes out of this fucking movie. Horror flicks need to be 90. 90 minutes. Yeah. Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Fucking. Except for Army of Darkness, it can be a little longer.
What was it? Scream was like almost 2 hours, right?
I haven't seen Scream yet. Remember?
What?
We're supposed to blanket.
We'll do it for Thanksgiving.
And then finally, you wait an hour. You wait an hour and a half.
Babysitter that fucking dies and she's bleeding.
No. Yeah, you get an hour 45 minutes into it, and finally, Freddy Krueger calls somebody a bitch.
Yeah, but like that, I like how she falls into the Freddyverse.
Did you pick up the whole Hansel and Gretel thing?
Yeah.
Did you pick up because he says breadcrumbs at the beginning?
Because he reads that story. I'm like, this is a creepy ass story to be reading right now, especially after him being weirded out and fucking freaking out and screaming about all this shit.
And then he fucking throws him into a fucking oven, essentially.
Yeah, and then but I like that world portal, like where she gets fucking down. She tries to kill herself by eating all those fucking pills because she wants to go to sleep, and then she like slips into his world, and then he spits out of that tube into like that water, and then it's like this hellscape of like Freddy. But like I thought that was dope, and then I especially like the whole like like the first time I ever watched this movie, I thought Dylan was gonna be the Freddy and just rip his face off, and
that would have been a better fucking ending,
rather than like it's like.
Well, because I was waiting for them to do the fucking ending of the movie, where they fucking like, fake end it. Yeah. Well, and I was waiting for that. Now, so clearly,
I feel like this movie was for the Freddy fans and not like newcomers to watch the movie, even though it's a new nightmare.
Well, I think it was for people who because he made Freddy like not funny like in this one, like purposely, except for that fucking tongue thing, which must have been like his way of like, I'm gonna do one fucking ridiculous Freddy thing,
and then like it's him with the knife, and then like that cartoon's like, oh, don't hit my tongue,
yeah. That's the only thing I was like, oh, we're gonna do Looney Tunes. This is your Looney Tunes bit that you're doing.
Did I tell you that I came home one night and my mom was watching what was it, Freddy 4? The Dream Warriors?
That's 3 is the Dream Warriors.
No, Dream Masters?
No.
Yeah, I came home and my mom was like, oh, look, it's Freddy. I'm like, okay. So me and her watched like I watched the end of the movie with her.
Well, here's what I remember about this movie when it came out. I remember the commercial.
I remember the commercial too.
I remember the commercial, and I remember being like interested in the movie, but still being absolutely petrified of Freddy Krueger.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And then I remember when 3 came out, that either Nancy or Robert Englund was on like Good Morning America, and I was home from school that day.
Oh, did he do that fucking Freddy's back and his little fingers?
No,
just waving it around.
He didn't do that. He didn't do that. No, he was like normal Robert Englund, and I'm like, oh. And so my thing was like, oh, well, if I can separate this from this, then let's try to do it. And then they showed a scene from the movie, and I'm like, nope, we're good. I was like 10. I'm like, nope, we're good.
Watching it now, watching scary movies, I was terrified. as I was younger to now, I'm okay with a lot of them. Like, oh, this isn't that bad.
Really?
There's Texas Chainsaw Massacre that I don't want to watch. I watched the newer one with like everybody one night when we were house sitting somewhere, and that was rough for me to like sit through. But I was able to do it because it wasn't the same.
You're not going to Horror Nights this year, are you?
I've been to Horror Nights with Leatherface was there, and I remember just fucking freaking out. And I literally grabbed people and I told them walk me away because I don't want to see it. But when I walk away, I don't cringe. I just kind of like pretend like I'm holding on to them, like I'm holding on to them casually, and my eyes are closed, and we're walking away because I don't want to like cringe because then they'll see you cringe and they'll come after you. Yeah, I'm aware.
Lisa keeps trying to get me to go, and I'm like,
oh, you should go, dude.
I don't want to. There have been two things in like the last couple years that I was interested in seeing. In like the last, I'll say like 5 to 10 years, I've been interested. 1 year, John Landis worked on an American Werewolf in London Maze at Universal.
Wow!
And he got sounds from the movie. They went and they got sounds from the movie.
Those mazes are fucking beautiful. They're beautiful.
But I don't want to be in the middle. I want to watch. I don't want to be in the middle of that shit. I'm good. I like watching horror flicks. Because
Knott's is okay. I mean, they're spooky and they're kind of like they're made to be.
Lisa's going tomorrow.
Oh, really?
But you know what they did one year at the log ride? They made a fucking Evil Dead ride.
Oh, that would have been fucking beautiful.
And I wanted to see that, and I tried to watch a video of it. Because
there has to be video, yeah.
There was, and it's dark though, because it's fucking.
Oh, you can't see shit.
But I was like, that's the only thing. Those are the only ones I've been interested in, like American Werewolf in London and Evil Dead.
Yeah, because the ones at Universal, like, because it's the fucking like studio, they throw everything in there. Because like,
well, they have the money to.
When I went to go see the Nightmare on Elm Street maze that they had, it was fucking terrifying, but it looked so good. The school looked like you were in the middle of a classroom, like an actual classroom, and it was like tinier. But
the tram ride is a Purge thing this year.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
And then, but like walking in the halls, and then even like the part where like they had the fake frames where they're half open, you think someone's gonna pop in, so you kind of hug the wall because you're terrified. The wall is a fabric at a certain
length. It's like the one,
and then he just like leans into it, and you can see the claws scraping.
Like he does in the movie.
And it's fucking terrifying. I almost passed out twice in that stupid maze, but it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like it was
not
so
for
good.
me. But also I worked Haunt when I worked at Knott's.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not worth it. Like here's what we used to tell people all the time: go on the mine ride, go on the log ride because they dress up those rides. Every other ride is the fucking same.
Yeah, so what's the point?
So, yeah, and so everybody... And then, like, I used to fucking hate walking through the fucking mine ride in the morning. With all those They'd have
condoms everywhere.
No, not condoms everywhere. They'd have people... they'd have, like, dummies, because sometimes they have dummies in there. And I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to do this. We ask a question every week.
Oh, my gosh. Corey Feldman. Like... There's only one thing that little baby Corey...
It would be the son.
The son, and sure, why not? I could watch him.
And so then would the dad be... Would he be the dad also?
Oh my god, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that'd be good. Because there's no other, like, characters. I was thinking the nurse. The one that gets punched. You know what I mean? The one that, like, jabs the son with the sleeping stuff.
With the syringe fight?
Mom fucking hits her. Yeah, but, like, yeah, no, the dad would be dope. Because it'd be so creepy while having like a Michael Jackson lookalike driving down the street and like his claw just play with his wiener and then he crashes his car.
Hey Jimmy, how's it going?
Pretty well. Pretty okay. Pretty good.
Alright Jimmy, so next week we're going to watch a Humphrey Bogart movie.
Ooh, the Bogart.
Called Key Largo.
Key Largo. Is it about him making key lime pies?
We'll find out next week. Well, that's going to do it for the episode this week. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit us up at our Instagram
at YHBlankThat.
Or you can email us at yhblankthat@gmail.com.
Bye.
Bye.